Today we are starting on part 5 of the short story, and I have a working title. That's exciting. Greenie. So I took this from part 4? No, from part 3. Part 4, sorry. The plant starts to grow, and in the morning, Rick goes into Faye's bedroom, and he's saying, let's go downstairs. She says, I've already been down there. It's cornbread. Breakfast is cornbread, which is yucky. But no, that's not true. Greenie made me an apple. So Faye has given the plant a name, and I thought, that's a good working title. I might come up with something better. If I'm writing, I might write a really good line and then think, oh, that could be part of the title. But for now, that's our title. Greenie. So from now on, videos will say Greenie, rough draft part, 10, 11, 12. And then once these rough drafts are done, it'll say Greenie, revision 1, revision 2, revision 3. Okay, so I'm working on... Everything feels slightly off-center. I'm working on part 5 today. I'm not going to do a lot. There's other videos I want to make. I want to have a book video. I went and got some books from my office, so I want to talk about those and have that be something that shows up. Book videos. And I think I'm also going to do some kind of really quick intro for my book, because I've updated it so that there's a paperback. So if you weren't interested in getting the ebook, you can get the paperback book. Okay, so I had the idea of starting part 5 with this. Faye is chewing on a corner piece of cornbread. What do you think? Rick asked. I reckon it's the best part. I reckon the middle is the best, she said. And I reckon you can walk home. I further reckon you'd better not start teasing me like Mary. So this was written at the end of a long writing session. And I don't know where exactly I want them to be. As the car pulled up outside the Bluebell Tavern. It's a tavern. I said in the synopsis. Oh well. As the car pulled up outside the Bluebell Tavern, Faye popped the last piece, the last corner piece. Into her crumb-dusted mouth. That's a nice little detail. Crumb-dusted mouth. She's a little kid. She's gonna have crumbs around her mouth. What do you think? Rick asked. Would he say, what do you think? No. He would say, thoughts? I reckon the middle is the best, she said. And I reckon you can walk home. I need a term for this word. He always says reckon. It's his like catchphrase. I reckon the middle is the best, she said. Uh, Coming from Mary. It would have been a jest. But Faye borrowed, but just as Faye often stole her brother's shirts to wear as dresses, I'll probably cut that. I just want to remember that, and I want you to remember that. Just as Faye often stole her brother's shirts to wear as dresses, she borrowed bits of her other family members' personalities, their quirks, as if trying them on for size. And I can rearrange that. I could say Faye borrowed bits of her other family members' personalities as if trying them on for size. Just as she, not just, in the same vein, just as she, all right, just as she often stole her brother's shirts to wear as dresses. It's that learning. It's that environmental learning. Kids, when they're growing up in their house, they learn specific phrases because they hear it. I mean, you learn so much of your language hearing it from your parents. So if your parents if they use a really robust vocabulary, then you'll pick up on some of that. If you use a lot of swear words, your kids will pick up on that and they'll think, oh, that's normal. And they'll go to school and they'll say words they shouldn't be saying. That's a nice sentence. She's borrowing the family members' personalities, trying them on for size, just as she is doing with her brother's shirts. I think I like and I reckon. No. I want him to be economical in his word use. Reckon you can walk home. Rick grumbled under his breath. Not understanding how it's about the fact that she likes the middle, not understanding how anyone could favor the soggy center of, I mean, it wouldn't be soggy, could favor the moist center of cornbread over the the crunchy, I mean, it is kind of crunchy, the crisp, the perfectly crispy corners. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so the only thing is we don't have any sensory details. We don't have where our characters are not in a setting. All we have is that they're outside the Bluebell Tavern. So we might want to put that first. Have the reader firmly in our setting. And that's not too bad. We could say, what? Oxen, probably. Or a horse. We'll just say the horse. One horse. Is that going to be enough to pull Rick and his daughter and a cart? Probably. Do I need to give the horse a name? I don't know. We'll just say the cart rumbled through the market. Rumbling through the market. Rumbling, tumbling. I mean, we have rumble, and then down below we have grumble. Rumble. Rick barely had to guide the cart through the sparsely crowded market. All right, so I do need a name for the horse. Would it be a name that the kids had chosen? That might be kind of fun. Although we already have the plant name. I don't know. I'm just going to leave it blank for now. Knew the way and pulled them at a steady trot. Never once needing to pause for I don't want to say shoppers, for market goers to clear out of the way. Slow enough for market goers to clear out of the way. And then, rumbling through the... let's get rid of that. Okay. Rick barely had to guide the cart through the sparsely crowded market. The horse knew the way and pulled them at a steady trot, slow enough for market goers to clear out of the way. But he's also, we need to remember, there's the tension. He's worried. He's there because he needs to get information about this magic seed and find out if they're in trouble. So, if he'd, if he'd had his way, Rick would have not not whipped, would have spurred the horse to a, gallop. Spurred isn't quite right. Would have spurred to a gallop. Never mind how the cart would have jostled, possibly throwing jars of preserves to shatter on the dusty track. I'm just trying to think of descriptions right now, sensory details. Maybe even tossing Rick and Faye. The girl hadn't shown any signs of discomfort, hadn't didn't appear to be suffering any magical, side effects from the apple she'd eaten. In fact, as the cart pulled up outside the Bluebell Tavern, Faye popped the last corner piece of cornbread into her crumb-dusted mouth. Okay. For her sake, Rick kept his face placid, pretended to enjoy the cool sea breeze, lifting the edges of his wide-brimmed hat. Why did I... Hold on. But internally, he... he seemed to be... He seemed to be the one... he felt like he'd eaten a magical seed and now had monstrous, I don't want to say monstrous, I now had I don't want to say something, but I will. I had something growing in his gut. Okay. This is a really rough idea, but I'm thinking about the contrast that not only is he trying to keep his face placid, but inside he's suffering. And I'm trying to connect that to the fact that Faye ate this apple from a magic plant, and he's been thinking, oh my god, what's going to happen? So, but there's the contrast that she appears to be fine. So I'll probably rewrite this. to connect it better. The same way I did with the personality with her wearing the clothes. So let me give myself a note. Try to connect this all together. I think that'll be better. Still trying to think of a name for the horse. Something with like 2 syllables, because most of the kids are like Mary, Nikki, Faye, Elm, Rick. They all have short names. Rick is really Rickard, which I should use at some point. His wife should call him by his full name, Rickard. I'm trying to look around my room for inspiration, but there's nothing here to really inspire me for the name. We could do fruit, persimmon. That's what's outside. How do you spell persimmon? I know that's wrong. You got 2 M's. That works for now. Persimmon. In fact, as the car pulled up outside the Bluebell Tavern, Faye popped last corner piece. I mean, I would also like to kind of have this paragraph. No, that's pretty good. They pull up outside the Bluebell Tavern. Thoughts for cat. I reckon the middle is the best. Okay, so we've got us. We're in a clear setting. We're on a cart. We could add even more sensory details. The way that he feels sitting in the cart, the way that he's rocking back and forth, bumping into Faye. We could add something like that. Bumping, rocking into Faye every, few, every time the, this would be good. Every time the slightly slightly bent rear left wheel turned over. Another chore. Another thing he has to fix. This is another thing that I've been trying to do throughout. There's constantly another chore, another thing that needs to be fixed. That would be a nice little detail. Okay, so we're in a setting. That's good. That feels great. We've got the conversation. We should have them move around. That's the other thing. Climbing down in one fluid motion. Reins in hand. Okay, he would have the reins in his hand. Faye said. Okay, reckon you can walk home, Faye grumbled. Well, hold on. All right, I'm thinking. No, yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, reckon you, Rick grumbled under his breath. He'd never understand how anyone could favor the moist center over the perfectly crisp corners. Okay, I want him moving again. Helping Faye Down. No, lifting. Lifting Faye down from the car. Okay, good. That's great. We've got sensory detail. We've got people moving around. We're in a setting. We're outside the Bluebell Tavern. So at this point, we should probably... he should tell her in a... more clearly, he said... I mean, how are they going to get these jars? They would be in some kind of wooden box, probably. So Faye's not going to be able to carry those. She's a little kid. Rick's going to have to carry them. But Faye could do something. Maybe... okay, more clearly, he said, tie Persimmon to the post over there. And then go around front and ask for well, hold on. And ask for some water and a carrot. I don't know. I don't know where she'll go. She'll go somewhere. More likely she'll go to some other stall. Basically, he's trying to get rid of her for a minute. Because I want him to be in the back of the tavern, and I want him to hear some sort of gossip from the common room area or from the owner, and I don't want Faye to hear it. I think also the thing is, it's not going to be gossip from the common room, because that would be too convenient if he just shows up and just happens to hear about a plant the moment that he walks into the tavern, the exact thing that he wants to know. I think it's better if he, has a conversation with the woman running the tavern and gets the information he wants. And then go around front and ask for some water and a carrot. When that's done, start unpacking the boxes, but don't try to lift them yourself. Okay. And I'll probably go back through that and try to make it as concise as possible. That's another thing that I decided like halfway through the story, that Rick is very concise, very economical with his use of language, which will help keep the word count down too. I mean, we're looking at about 7,000 words, and the goal was about 5,000. So not too high over. There's a couple places I've already spotted where I could probably cut a large chunk of the story. Okay, so he gives her all these orders. and with a skip in her step, belying. How do you spell that? No, not belong. Belying. That feels right. Yeah, B-E-L-I-E. Belie. Fail to give a true notion or impression of something. It's kind of a disguise, a contradiction. Is that the word that I want? I mean, if it sounds good. I'm thinking about all of Rick's concerns about her health. Faye, Faye disappeared around the tavern's corner. The other thing is, I still haven't described the tavern at all. So I probably need to do that. In her absence, he moved brusquely. We get to see just how bad my spelling is. He moved brusquely to the back of the car. I'm using a lot of direction words, so that's something I need to keep an eye on. Around the corner, back of the car, down from the cart. A lot of prepositions. He moved brusquely to the back of the cart. And lifted a box of preserves. Jars clinking together, sensory detail. Glass jars clinking together with we could just say clinking together for now. We moved brusquely together and lifted a box of preserves. Glass jars clinking together. The what's in the preserves? I don't remember. Grape? Was it grape? That's something I'll have to check. That's in the morning, so it should have been. It was at night. It's before this part. More of the preserve. Yeah, she doesn't say. I think they talk about the preserves in this part. Part 3? No, part 2. How much space do you reckon we have in the root cellar? Should be more than enough for this year's harvest. I took a cartload of cherry preserves. Okay. Into the city last week, if you'll remember. Okay. So we probably don't want it to be cherry preserves. It should be something different. That's still part 4. Okay, part 5. We've already got, a full page. That's nice. If I can get about a page and a half, maybe 2 pages, I'll be happy about this writing session. He moved brusquely to the back of the car and lifted a box of preserves. Glass jars. That's going to be that's going to be a new sentence. Glass jars clinked together. Loud enough to draw the attention of a few passers-by. They cast interested glances at the deep, I'm thinking grape preserves, kind of a jam. Jam. Shining, I'm thinking shining. Glistening. Yeah, that's good. They cast. So I was gonna have Rick look at the jars and think about it, but I think that's better. I mean, I was thinking about the jars clink 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 together. Well, if people hear that, then they can look and they can see what's inside. They cast interested glances at the deep purple gem glistening in his arms, and followed his progress to the tavern's back door. Rick noticed a few people hastening toward the front of the building. I'm just trying to think about movement. I want him constantly moving, and I want the other people moving. And now that he's at the back of the building, now we can describe the back of the building. I want to make that bold because I'm still not sure if that's the word I want. And then there's a back door. What would the back? Now I'm trying to visualize. Three sharp raps later. Three sharp raps on the sturdy wood. Elicited a weak just a moment. from with it. Something like that. And then maybe Rick thought about but then how is he knocking on the wood while he's holding? That's something I need to think about. If he's knocking, then he's holding the box, these jars. So maybe he's not. He wouldn't rap on the door. He would kick it. Just a moment, from within. And then, well, hold on. Now I'm thinking. Rick gave Faye all these orders. She was supposed to tie up the horse first, and I have her disappearing around the corner. Tie up the horse first, then disappear. Okay. And also compare her obedience to Nikki's reluctance to do chores. And then, maybe Rick reminds himself that the young man has been changing. Something to think about, something to consider adding. Rick is trying to wrap his mind around the fact that his son is slowly becoming more of a man, slowly becoming more responsible. Even just during the couple of days that this story takes place. I worry about Mary. Mary still doesn't have a real strong presence in the story. It's really all sort of Faye and Nikki. And I mean, Mary might get cut out if she doesn't have a strong enough presence. But then again, she's a middle child, and her not having that strong of a presence is kind of representative of a middle child. They are often kind of on their own. I was a middle child. That's how I was. Okay, so 3 sharp kicks on the sturdy wood elicited a weak, just a moment from within. A bolt slid free? A bolt slid free? We'll just say a bolt scraped and the door opened inward, outward. It's such a silly little detail, but it's going to determine. I think it would swing inward so that they can kind of peek, right? They can peek out. If it swings outward, well, either way could work, I suppose. No, yeah, we'll have a swing out. A bolt and the door opened outward. The door swung outward. I'm thinking of so many sensory details right now that I can add to this. The door swung outward. A face swimming up from the darkness beyond. Probably not going to say darkness. The darkness within. And it's Goody Lynn's eldest son, a boy named Puck, around Nikki's age. Like squinted, blinked, squinted. Against the sun riding the top of Rick's hat. That's not what I want to say, but okay. Okay, that's going to need work, but that's the general image that I want to build towards when I come back and do revisions. The idea that he's, squinting and he's looking at Rick, and that the sun is in the sky as if it's cupped, riding on Rick's hat. That's kind of a fun image, I think. So I'll work on that. I need to get all these sensory details down. I think Puck. Sounds of laughter, soft music, and sounds of laughter and soft. I'll keep music. Kind of washed out, ebbed out, but we're mostly overridden by shouted orders for lunchtime meals. Okay. That was the other detail that I was thinking about. I was thinking about the fact that when the door opens, he's going to see the boy, he's going to hear something, and he's probably going to smell something. Despite the cornbread Rick and Faye had shared, his stomach, gurgled. Gurgled is a fun word. Gurgled like an ogre's challenge, something fun there, some fantasy creature. As the smell of grilled vegetables and we'll say fish, grilled fish and vegetables wafted. I mean, wafted is another fun word, but I want to use imagery here. I want to use some kind of figurative language, a simile. As the smell of grilled fish and vegetables. Not struck, that's too much. Farm. Thinking of a farm. Something at a farm. Something blue around Rick like a dust devil in autumn's barren fields. Okay. Dust devil. Is that what I'm thinking of? Dust devil. A strong, well-formed, and relatively short-lived whirlwind. You know, it's kind of big, but that might work. That might work. Autumn, barren fields. It's autumn. They've harvested everything. That might work. Or I could just say a dusty summer field, but their fields would all be... Or I could just say a barren field. I do like adding the season to it, but that might be too much and unnecessary. And then I have this woman being called Goody. That's just a phrase that I really like. I like that. Not a phrase. It's a title that I like. I don't like Mr. or Mrs. Miss, Ms. Sir. That doesn't fit. We're talking about a pastoral village. There's market. They're not necessarily near a big city. So I think of farmers. I think of pilgrims. I think of Goody Lynn. He could be Goodman Rickard or something. I mean, that's what I'll do. Man said. His eyes swept down to the burden in Rick's arms and widened. That would be good. He's squinting. He sees the preserves, and then his eyes get really big. Are those grape jam? Rick said. I hope you enjoyed that video. Look in the description down below. There's a lot more that you can find. My blog, my self-published novel. I have a stream on Twitch, and there are a lot of other YouTube videos. From the Height of a Mind, I'm Mike.